Awesome.
Oh, I just got the notification. Oh, look at that
Sweet. Yeah, hey.
fancy new thumbnail.
I know.
Yeah,
All
it
right,
looks
we are
great.
officially
Only
live.
took me like 6 months.
Hey. Okay, so we have a few things to talk about, and okay, that was you guys retweeting. Awesome. Okay, my phone was buzzing. I'm like, if someone's inboxing my Twitter again, gosh dang it. Okay, because that is like the one thing you can count on when VYTALCast goes live is inbox messages. I'm like, why? Okay. Hey everyone. I'm seeing a lot of like messages in the chat. The chat's been redone. It looks a lot nicer now.
Ooh, it does.
Yeah.
It's like a thing.
Thank you, YouTube. Thank you. Although it's saying there's only one person watching it, so I'm really confused. Because there's obviously more than one person in the chat. Okay, now it says 8. Now it says 8. Thank you, YouTube. Okay. Few things to talk about. So I just got an email, and it is not a happy email.
Oh no.
It's a copyright claim by Rooster Teeth for tomorrow's reaction video.
Oh no.
David,
Yes.
you have Dan's info up for Larissa.
Oh, you do too. I didn't know
What?
that.
Wait, what? Oh, hi!
It
I'm
says
not Dan.
Crap! Hello, I forgot. Okay, hold on. Let me edit the properties. She is the Nerd of Aus, and crap. I was just watching like news bloopers too. Okay, Nerds of Aus, and your Twitter handle is the same thing. Nerds of Aus.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. All right. There, it is fixed. Thank you guys.
I'm seeing it like live update on the
Yeah.
stream.
Hey chat. Yeah. It's just like being like retyped. You're like, oh man, he messes up on his typing a lot. Look at how many times he has to hit delete. So yeah, Rooster Teeth. Apparently that. So, I tried out this theory with reaction videos because we know with Volume 4, a lot of people have been having like copyright claim issues, which is not a problem. It's just being blocked worldwide. That is the issue. So. I tried uploading on Fridays and just like keep it private till a couple hours after the episode is up on YouTube. So I use my handy dandy scheduling tool, and I was like, all right, 4 p.m. my time tomorrow. That'll be when it's public. And then like 2 hours after it was done processing, I got an email saying, hey, and so I look at the like little part that claimed it. And you could barely hear it, but it's when Sun is yelling at Blake about White Fang. I'm like, gosh dang it. Sun just got a whole lot more annoying to me. Like,
No, that's what happened to me with Yang.
oh yeah? Oh, with
Yeah,
the
'cause
sweeping?
Yeah, with chapter 3, that my copyright claim had been taken down like 4 times, and there wasn't even pretty much any music. It was just Yang sweeping, and it's like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that depression offended you, YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Also, I tried scheduling this stream. Technical issues with that. Because it was still until like we started going live said this happened 5 days ago. So, hi everyone, how's Monday? Anyone back to work yet? So
I'm back to school.
yeah,
I'm not to it.
yeah. It sucks. Anyway, Ruby stuff. RT Box came today. RT Box shipped late for double gold members who didn't know. I had to call customer service because I was worried they like skipped me. I was like, hey, did you guys skip me? Because when I tweeted at the RT store, they're like, yeah, it'll ship between the 15th and 19th of December. And I was like, well, today is the 18th, so we'll see how that goes. And it arrived today, and then they sent an email because something else bad happened with the RT box. And that was apparently inside the box. I have not opened it. Inside the box is supposed to be a Team Juniper DLC code for for Grim Eclipse, and I'm like, you fools! Most double gold members probably already have the DLC, which I do, and so it's like, well, I'm gonna do a code giveaway when we hit 1,500 subscribers. So let's do that. Hopefully by my birthday.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. All right, a little bit more back to Ruby. Nikolai asked, "Do you think Ranger will find Raven to save Crow?" I think Raven's gonna stay out of it.
Yeah.
Although we
I
did
don't know if
see,
she'll get involved.
well, we did see her like flying around, but Crow was like, I'm done with stories now. Probably because he doesn't want her eavesdropping.
I wasn't sure if it was that or if it was her being mildly threatening. Because it felt like her being there was kind of like a, you gonna say anything else or am I gonna have to peck out your eyes kind of a thing.
Yeah. Raven is a complicated character. I don't like it. Like, just be a little simple. Although, who was it? I might have been talking to you, Aaron, or maybe someone else said it. They messaged me, or someone told me that ravens are a sign of good luck, whereas crows are the sign of bad luck. And so they think that maybe Raven's semblance is good luck.
It would certainly make sense considering she was there right in time to stop Yang from being stabbed.
Yeah. I mean, that's what got me thinking about it. I'm like, she did save Yang, but there's also kind of like, I don't know, like, if the luck, whereas like Crow's affects mostly like the people around him, whether it's people he's fighting or people he cares, would her luck focus on her if it's to be more opposite to him?
It is possible.
Because Tai Yang and Yang totally were not lucky around her. So,
I want your audio cut out for a minute there.
Did mine?
Yes.
Okay, so I've been having microphone issues because this microphone is about 3 or 4 years old. But
oh, it's old.
yeah, it is old, but I am getting a nicer microphone for my birthday, hopefully. So Andrew is asking us, does the story of the brother gods remind you guys of anything?
Story of the story of the two brothers that Piero mentioned in Volume 3. And asked about what fairy tale she knew.
Oh, that was a one-liner I missed and did not remember. Like, I remember.
Same, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, something going over Aaron's head. What?
Oh my gosh, really? It was
Holy
a
crap.
line.
I thought she had the script to every episode memorized.
I tried to avoid episodes 6 through 12 of Volume 3. Thank you very much.
Okay. Trenton Dixon's also calling me out on, like, the orbs are relics. Yeah. In my reaction video, if it gets unblocked, you would see me saying, I have a lot of people to apologize about for saying, oh no, those orbs are just artistic aesthetic.
Well, I mean, it could have been both.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought that was...
well, yeah. But yeah, the brothers thing actually kind of reminds me of Salem and Oz. Like, maybe they are not, like, maybe, you know how, like, the maidens kind of reincarnate? Ruby seems to be really into, like, reincarnation. And I think maybe Ozpin and Salem might be the reincarnations of the two brothers.
It is possible.
Or, like they inherited the powers, kind of. So...
that would be interesting, because if that is in fact the case and they had established that it was a reincarnation cycle, that could be part of why Salem is the way she is now. Because it could have been a, oh, you know what, I want to keep this power, I don't want to die and get rid of it, so I will seek out means to prolong my own life. Kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas Osmond just kind of was like, well, this is a thing.
Yeah, Salem's like, I'm gonna follow Voldemort's footsteps, and then Osmond's just like, well, I'm a Dumbledore.
She straight up pulled Crawl, like...
Yeah. Larissa, what do you think?
I could see that as a possibility, yeah. I hope we find out a bit more about the two brothers' story, because even though we got a bit of information, it still wasn't... Yeah. No, I had to think a bit more about it. I've been rewatching the episode a few times, especially that part of it, but it still hasn't quite sunk in.
Yeah.
So much to take in that episode.
Yeah.
There's a lot with the lore that they, like, touch on, and then you're like, okay, there's a lot more to this, but they hold back, probably for a reveal later on.
Yeah, it was like, exposition. Oh, hey, by the way, dick punch to the feels. Exposition.
Yeah, like, hey, did you know there's these maidens? And then it's like, oh, just by the way, there's Autumn in this basement who has part of her power stolen by Cinder, and it's like, oh, Okay then.
You can like see everything click in John's head, and it's physically painful.
Yeah, Anamara just said, "What even is Ozpin right now?"
He is the avatar.
It's like, yeah, same. No one knows. Also, if Dan Cooper is watching right now, Skype says it's his birthday today, so happy birthday to Dan Cooper. He's the Kaito Dan. Yeah, that
I
one.
think he missed something on Twitter about his birthday, actually.
Did
That
I miss
Reed is
something
gonna
on
be
Twitter?
released on his birthday.
Oh man, I don't know. To me, it seemed like he's been off Twitter for a long time. Speaking
Well,
of
it's like if you go to their profile, like balloons will fall.
oh well, I don't regularly check on people's profiles, so I never knew that was a thing.
I didn't either.
I didn't know it was a thing until like I got a bunch of notifications and I had like a bunch of random balloons and it was like, oh god, run away.
Huh. Okay, so I want to start this thing. Okay, so people in the chat will know this quite a lot. A lot of people ask their questions and we eventually miss it because like so many people are in the chat and we talk for so long about stuff. On Twitter, I did ask for people to like if they want for sure their questions to be answered on the show to send me using the ask feature on the Rooster Teeth site. So I got a question by Jackers. That's their Rooster Teeth username that I'm gonna read aloud. Sorry guys, I keep cutting you off on this. I just want to make sure we don't miss it. Their question is, what do you think of Ruby Semblance being the ability to burst into rose petals instead of it just being straight up speed? I think it explains a lot about her. Thanks for answering my question. So that was the only question we got through there.
Okay.
And I know who it is because they often message me quite a lot about stuff. I think it's interesting. It makes more sense now that they changed some of her fighting style with Volume 4, doing that like red thingy where she like zips around like a ping pong ball in the air.
Well, she's kind of done that before as well.
Before Volume 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Volume 2 food fight, when she's first charging it, she's
Oh,
that
yeah, but
huge
she
tornado.
ran, and that was like in a straightforward direction. Like you could have assumed that the velocity she was moving at, and her
Sure, but
jumping
it's
in.
like, it's
and
like
It's
twirling.
like a red ribbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been like aesthetic cape wise, but yeah, no, it makes sense. I just to me it makes more sense with the ping pong. Gosh, am I having
ping
a
pong
stroke?
pinball movement.
Yeah, the
That's about it.
yeah, the movement up in the air, you know, not using the gravity bullets like she usually does. And also with her cape mystery on, like, what length is her cape type thing, because I know cosplayers have that issue a lot.
I know, I'm working on a cloak at the moment, like, should I do a full length or should I do it short? Like, how long is it? It keeps changing.
You can never win.
No.
Yeah.
What I found kind of interesting about it is that, especially at the end of Volume 3, we see her by her mother's tombstone, which is exactly where she was at the beginning of Volume 3. But what's written on it is, "Thus kindly I scatter." And that's what Ruby is now able to do through her semblance.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, I find that interesting.
Yeah. So, also, can we talk about, like, Sun's lack of personal space for people? Like, okay, Aaron, you seem like a bomb that's about to explode. Do you want to start?
I love Sun Wukong, I do. I really do. I don't hate him, but for the love of God. Personal space. Boundaries.
It's like, who cares about the White Fang right now? Yeah.
They were having an emotional father-daughter moment. She was like, how could you still love me? And Sun's just like, oh, you know what? I bet I should totally hear this.
Yeah,
And knock the door down too, not just, knocking the door, like completely crash it down.
yeah, it's like, you destroyed personal property, dude. I kind of feel like it's like we pause this character development to continue the plot forward. It's like, come on, really? Like, give me that character development. Yeah, I don't know. Son, I love you, but, like, again, personal space. Also, good on Blake for just slapping him around.
She slapped him 3 times this season, and it fills me with great joy.
It's like, thank you. Thank you.
Because he's deserved it.
Yeah, no, he did. I'm like, like Sun, I feel like the more screen time you get, the less likely Black Sun is ever going to be canon at this rate. Like, it's
Pretty
just,
much.
oh man, it
Just
was
the more screen
hilarious.
time they have together.
Yeah, it was like, holy crap. And then, of course, he's like, hey, I got a picture of the White Fang, and it shows that spy on them. And people were asking, do we think it's that sister... What's
No.
her
Yeah.
face? Yeah, I don't think... Because she was wearing a mask, and I'm thinking the sister lady that they mentioned a few episodes ago wouldn't be wearing a mask.
Well, the White Fang doesn't wear masks in Menagerie unless they're part of that separate group.
Mhm.
So, since it appears Sister Ilia is in fact in Menagerie, it wouldn't really make sense.
Yeah. But also, that was a chameleon faunus.
Yes.
We're seeing a
Well,
lot of
actually,
new faunus.
I'm not sure.
Looking at hair, that's a good point.
Like with the hair, it does the chameleon thing.
Yeah,
but
it looked
I
like a
don't know
chameleon,
if
and they had the
chameleons have
horns. They had the little
Yeah.
horns, you know?
Do chameleons have horns?
Yeah. I will pull up a picture of a chameleon.
Then it was a chameleon faunus. That was my only hesitation.
Chameleon.
I've never seen
I
a
cut
chameleon.
inside.
Okay.
Wait, okay. No, I might be mixing it up with a different type of thing.
I've only seen the one in Tangled.
No, yeah, no, these... Okay, here's a chameleon with horns. I will pull up a screen capture on OBS real quick. Monitor capture. And yes, I only have one monitor. Okay,
Look at us getting fancy from back when I
Yeah.
would just show the
okay,
pixelated
view
picture on my
image.
phone.
See, look, it has horns. It's like
I'm
the
waiting
Magic
for it to
School Bus
update.
one. Yeah.
I haven't seen the Magic School Bus.
I only see the 3 episodes they show you in elementary school.
I saw one episode and it traumatized me, so I never saw it again. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so that's the chameleon. Anyway,
But even then, the horns were no, the horns were like that.
yeah.
And it makes sense. Like if you have a natural inclination towards stealth, you wouldn't exactly want to be a tank.
Yeah. I don't know why I just thought of like roadhogs sitting in bushes right now. Sorry, that was an Overwatch joke right there, people. Yeah. Someone just said it in the chat but disappeared. Okay, Andrew said it. That's not my cousin Andrew, is it? No, it's not. Okay. Said Blake threw away Sun's scroll. They can't call for help now. But do we know Blake still has her scroll?
Blake still has her scroll.
Yeah, so Blake can. She's just not answering calls, plus, like, service is all crazy since the tower in Vale got taken down. I almost said
That
Beacon.
Menagerie never had a tower to begin with.
True.
Yeah, I don't think they did. No.
Well, they didn't have a major communications tower. They had a smaller unit, but
Yeah, so they could have, like, on-island communication, but reaching out to other kingdoms, probably
Mhm.
carrier pigeon or something.
it would definitely be easier to dismantle.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of carrier pigeons, I noticed on the balcony of Blake's parents, they have 2 bird cages, and
Mhm.
both were empty, and the doors were open. And during my reaction video, you guys will see this if it gets unblocked. Well, I made a I made a joke about them eating the birds because they're cats. I'm like, hey, did they eat the birds? But I bet those birds are meant for like communication.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah, and they're just out delivering. So yeah, they have
I can see
bad
that.
service in Menagerie. Nikolai says.
Speaking of birds, though, I do have an interesting thought that had come to mind while watching that episode involving Crow and Raven.
And Amara just said, carrier crow. All right, okay. What were we saying?
No, I just had an interesting realization about the way that Crow speaks when he brings up his semblance is very strange. And I actually went back and watched it a couple times, and he says, that's how I got my name, because crows are bringers of bad luck. And, like, I brought this up in my reaction, but if you see an infant, you're not going to be like, I bet this kid's unlucky. Let's name him Crow. Like,
Yeah.
the only
Well,
thing I can see is that,
unless their mother died in childbirth.
well, still, but then if Raven has good luck.
Whatever. Just kidding.
My best guess is that if they did name them from birth, it was like maybe Crow was right side up, which is very difficult when childbirth is a thing,
Uh-huh.
or just like an unlucky position like that. But the way he says it, it kind of is more like it's a title. So what I'm wondering is if he and Raven were actually orphaned, or maybe like a village got destroyed, and then they were taken in by the village and the tribe, and then maybe by the leader at the time. Which is
Kinda
part of why
adopted them.
Raven is so dedicated to them, because in that case, it's like
the tribe saved them.
It's like they saved us, they took us in when no one else wanted us. How dare you leave them? How dare you leave me? Kind of a thing.
That makes a lot of sense. And also, if you end up being right on this, like you've been right on a lot of things, we're gonna have to like just call Rooster Teeth and we're like, hey, we don't know how we're guessing this right, but you might want to hire us to be an official podcast. I don't know. But I don't know, that's a really good thought. Like, also I kind of thought maybe in the tribe they had different like cultures where like you don't get a name, or maybe you get like a basic name until you earn a name, so to say.
It could be like some Indian cultures where is you are given a name that only your family calls you until you're old enough that they find a name that suits you, and that's what you put on your birth certificate.
Yes. Yeah, so maybe something like that, if not what you said. But what you said sounds a lot more interesting. Just like, oh man, that's a really good character background. Mine's just like, yeah, that's just culture of the tribe. What do you think, Larissa?
I think maybe they might have chosen the names later on once they realised what their semblance is, because we don't know when they discovered what their semblance was. So, but and John doesn't know what his is, so I don't know. When they discover
Yeah,
their
if
semblance
John's in
is-
that tribe, they're like, yeah, you don't have a name. We don't know what you are. And you're like, oh.
You sit in the corner and pick up sticks until you know what you can do with your life.
Poor John.
What I'm wondering is, the more I think about it, the more I think that they either chose their names or it was given to them sort of through like a ceremony, because you don't necessarily know your semblance as a child. So if there's like Crow's semblance is turning into a crow, Raven's is turning into a raven. So it's like, oh, you can turn into a crow and you're kind of followed by bad luck. Let's just name you Crow, kind of a thing. But
Yeah.
it's interesting that they found the bad luck was kind of a passive semblance as well, because we've never really had any experience with that before. Semblances have always been like an active thing. You activate it, you call on it. But for Crow, it's like, yeah, I can turn into a bird, but there's also this lingering effect. So I'm wondering if that's something else that we'll see with other characters as well.
Well, he also didn't say he could turn into a crow as a semblance.
It says so on the Wikipedia.
Well, Wikipedia isn't that fan run though?
True, but I mean, if it's tied to a semblance and Crow's bringing bad luck, I mean, we haven't really seen him do anything else.
All right.
It's a rational assumption.
No, it is. It is. I don't know. I just like the thought of like people being able to turn into animals, being like a separate, like weird in between faunus and human, and then like them having
clinging onto your
of-
Phoenix Gang theory. I see you.
Wait. Oh crap! I wasn't even like consciously thinking about that. Yeah. I mean, are phoenixes angry? I'm gonna Google that. Are phoenixes angry? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm a Phoenician and I'm angry all the time.
Meh.
That's
But-
a joke because I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. For
Yeah.
those of you who know my life.
Okay. I've like Google did like an auto finish, so I have our phoenixes, and then like the auto finish is real. I'm like, oh gosh.
Hey, it's better than the is Chris Pratt dead?
Okay. Oh come on, it's pulling up Arizona. It's like Phoenix, Arizona's mad block party, and like why people in Phoenix, Arizona are angry, and it's like, all right,
We're always angry.
okay, yeah.
I've cooked pork on the sidewalk.
You told me about that. Crap. Okay. Anyway, I guess we will never know if phoenixes are actually an angry bird.
Angry Bird DLC.
Angry Bird DLC. Okay. All right. I mean, my Yang turns into a phoenix theory. I pretty much accepted that it's dead in the water now that she has a robot arm.
And you never know if you could lose said robot arm. Like, I don't think it's a combat edition.
Maybe
Or if it
like
is,
full
it's just-
Full Metal Alchemist robot arm gets busted and she regrows her real arm.
I'm just imagining some random technician in Atlas just like fixing Yang's arm. It's just that's
That
just
she
literally-
slowly falls in love with each time they upgrade it.
Watch. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You knew where I was going.
Yeah. Blake's the technician.
Or even if Ruby knows how to handle the arm. It's just like, yang, yang, yang.
Yang, stop hitting on people.
Stop hitting people.
In the physical and flirting sense, stop hitting on people. Okay, so Monocled Owl Productions asked, could that mean that their semblances are attached to blood and one's attached to particular spirits? I don't think semblances are blood related. They didn't say that in the Semblances World of Remnant episode.
But they can be passed down through families.
Wait, did it say that?
Well, the Shnees.
Oh, for the
Shnees,
Shnees. Yeah, the Shnees have that thing, and that seems like the exception to the rule. You know? I mean, for Crow and Raven, I would definitely say yes, it's like the Shnees.
I think
And I've said that before in the past, too. So.
It's probably a combination of familial lines as well as your individual aura.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Summer has had a similar semblance to Ruby's, being the thus calmly scatter as a thing, being rose petals. Maybe she has something to do with rose petals too.
Yeah, I
So
always
maybe
thought
different. I don't know.
so, because the intro, was it volume 1, where it shows Ruby at the grave, and you see,
Yeah.
like, yeah, and it kind of looks like rose petals are coming from Summer towards Ruby, so I always
White ones.
kind of headcanon that they had similar stuff.
I feel like it might end up. I think you're actually the one who said this first, David. But it could end up like Naruto, where it's like, oh yeah, this family thing is really rare, but everyone has it.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with VYTALCast, but the more I talk on VYTALCast, I start thinking of Naruto, which is an anime I haven't seen in years since it finished in 2015. And I didn't actually... The anime itself I haven't watched since way before then. And then, like, 2015 was when I stopped reading Naruto, because that's when it finished the manga. Anyway.
You read the mango.
The mango. Oh, I had this friend in middle school that's like, it's manga, not manga, because I think I used to say manga. I don't know.
Manga.
Whenever I said it, they were about to slap me each time. Like, they took it personal. Anyway, other stuff. I had other stuff to talk about for this episode. Where is it?
We
Someone
could always go into the angsty Pura section.
Angsty Pura, yeah. Oh, okay. Jake Ryder did message me about the Grim Eclipse reaching the top 10 Xbox watched Crunchyroll shows.
Yo.
Oh.
Yeah. At first, like, reading just a little preview of that message, I thought it was like, hey, it's already like in the top 10 pre-ordered games of the month. Which, oh, by the way, Grim Eclipse is coming out to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on January 17th.
Yes.
Hooray! In the exact
Awesome.
week before my birthday.
Ooh.
Yeah. Alright. Oh, and Inspector Who says I need a Stark flashback. And
I still just want like a Team Stark series of episodes, like RVB 14
Miniseries.
style, where you just see like Marauder style teenage Team Stark causing trouble, wrecking havoc, stealing each
Yeah.
other's hair gel. You know,
yeah.
there's no way that 3 out of the 4 of them don't use hair gel.
True. And also, like, Crow wearing that kilt. like now that it's been mentioned in the show in canon, it needs to be seen.
Yes.
I love how the chat's like, did Aaron just dab? And it's like, just guys, my entire Shiro photo shoot was me dabbing.
Oh man.
Like, I'm not even kidding.
You're just dabbing for your entire shoot. I look forward to this shoot of you just in different cosplay, just dabbing. Same spot.
Yes, Shiro. I'm pretty sure I dabbed Reese before dabbing was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Nikolai says, everyone in VYTALCast dab at the same time. Okay. 3, 2,
I can't
1.
actually see you, David.
Dab.
So...
No, that's
Wait,
why I'm
which way
counting
are we
down. That's why I'm counting down. Dab.
Where
Dab.
go on?
Aaron, dab. We had 2 of the 3.
Do we dab to the right or do we dab to the left?
I don't care. Just dab.
Webcams are
There, we dabbed.
I don't know how to do it.
Also, people are freaking out that Aaron dabbed. I don't know why your life is complete by Aaron dabbing. She dabs quite often. She's dabbed before on VYTALCast, I'm sure.
It's just because, like, whenever I'm on, like, actually doing reaction videos, I'm like, oh, I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry, you guys are wonderful, and I don't meme, and then I get off recording anything, and it's like memes.
Yeah.
My streams are just memes.
Yeah. People are like, wow, that was perfect timing. And someone just said I could smell the whiteness. Oh, come on.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah. Ha! Joke's on you, scrub. Okay. Okay. Booyah! Got him wrong.
Is that my dish soap?
Okay, yeah. Nah.
Scrub
It's kind of like how everyone is like, how does Cinder look so young? And then Monty's like, Asians. And we're like, oh, crap. Yeah, anyway. Because I think a lot of people thought Cinder was just a white girl. And then Monty was like, straight on Asian. Anyway. Okay, now he's challenged me to a fight in real life. Okay, RTX.
Who?
Day before. You, me. Somewhere Austin. I will
Wait,
break your legs.
Who is
Okay.
this? Who is challenging you?
His name's Chris Ruskin.
Chris, I called fighting David like last RTX.
What? No. You're gonna see me in March, so that fight's obviously happening before then.
Yeah.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
gonna fight you on multiple occasions.
Winner keeps VYTALCast. Just kidding. So okay, we all know she's gonna win. So after that, you're gonna have to go to Puns of Damage to watch VYTALCast, people.
Oh, good luck with that, because I never upload videos on time.
All right.
Throwback.
Yeah, she's like, all right, I won. Here's the trophy. I'm like, I don't want the participation trophy. Okay.
Wait, is Crow's scythe also a gun?
Yes. We've seen him use it as a gun.
I don't remember. Oh wait,
He shot it at Winter, and then he's also shot it at Tyrion. We've seen
No,
it used as a gun multiple times.
I was just cycling through the forums, and for some reason I just pictured like sword, scythe, and I was like, wait,
Yeah,
there's
like the
gun
blade.
in there.
The blade bends. I can't remember if it bends towards him or away from him.
It goes down.
It's down.
Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
down, and you could
Yeah,
shoot.
I just spaced for a minute.
Okay. Does Aaron have a Raven cosplay with the mask? You do
Yes.
have? Yeah, you do have the Raven cosplay, so with the mask too?
Mhm.
I mean, you don't half things. You go all the way. Like,
I don't half-ass several things. I whole-ass
Yeah.
one thing.
yeah,
At
you...
least I do now.
Your
No,
cosplays
you
are amazing.
don't. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Aaron, we tell you this all the time. Okay?
We do.
Stop being surprised. Stop hiding behind homework or whatever that is.
It's a sketchbook.
It's a sketchbook. Stop hiding. Your sketchbook is your homework. What are you talking about?
I know, but it's not my homework sketchbook.
Okay. All right. Everyone's saying Aaron is slipping. Yeah. Anyway.
What does that mean?
Oh yeah. What? Hey, Larissa. I've been meaning to ask you. When is RTX Sydney?
It's on the 4th and 5th of February.
Oh, February. Well, I thought it was
Yeah,
this
the
month.
week before my birthday.
Oh, the week before your birthday. Happy birthday.
Hey, week before RTX, week after RTX birthday buddies.
Yeah. Lucky. Mine's like, hey, you're in January.
Hey,
Okay.
it's not lucky. It's frustrating being at RTX and be like, hey, you know what? It's like I'm meeting Jen Brown and Shannon McCormick, but you know what? It's like it's. I could say it's my birthday, but it's technically not my birthday, so I'm lying. But I'm not lying.
But you're doing it for your birthday.
Not last year.
Okay. All right.
This year's different because this year's like the day before.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, because I was hoping to like ask you like, do you know any details for RTX Sydney, Larissa? Like any of the guests
Details
showing
in-
up or Ruby stuff that may be going on?
Yes, I know Barbara and Lindsay are going to be there because they announced that on Twitter not that long ago,
Nice.
which was awesome. And they're going to be airing the finale for Ruby Volume 4 there as well.
Early,
The
right?
finale is that close? Holy crap.
Yes.
It's like 4 episodes away. It's 12 episodes.
Shut up.
If they do.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm in denial. Wow.
Well, I mean, it makes sense just had episode 8, so episode 9 comes out this week,
Oh yeah.
and it's approximately a month until RTX Sydney.
I don't know. I just keep thinking, oh well, we're like so many episodes away from episode 6, which is like the halfway point. So for some reason, I kept thinking we were halfway through the volume when
Now we're past
I
it.
can't
we're
blame you.
for like 3/4. Yeah,
Mm.
man.
We've got a World of Remnant in there somewhere too.
Oh, so we only have like 3 more episodes. What? It's not next, but
Yeah, we.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm excited. I
I'd
mean,
say,
do you think we'll get
I'd say we'll get it up to episode 9 maybe.
yeah one more World of Remnant? Maybe.
I think part of the reason it looks like it feels like Volume 4 has come by so fast is because there wasn't a holiday break this time, whereas there's always been a holiday
Oh,
break
dude.
so far.
That's
Okay,
true.
animation team, thank you so much for working your butts off. And also, I kind of want to apologize as a fan because I think it was fandom complaining that made it so we didn't have a holiday break. So I want to say thank you and apologize at the same time to anyone in animation watching this.
I feel like the holiday break was almost it was nice because with TV shows you do have a holiday break. They take breaks for winter and things.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. They take a break for the Super Bowl. Take a break for like a holiday, like.
Yeah.
Because I saw some of the animators were like, oh yeah, going home, and it was like 2 days before Christmas, and it's like you guys should have more time with you guys.
Yeah, like with your family. Whatnot.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was gorgeous and incredible, and I still cry over the animation in that fight scene.
Oh yeah.
I think you've witnessed this.
Yeah, I've witnessed this. I called it Aaron Reacts to Ruby, the movie. Because it was like an hour long. That was exactly what I texted Aaron.
Yeah, I know. I was out with my sister, and I'm like, David is such a piece of shit. And she was like, what? I'm like, I had a 55-minute thing. And it's like, oh, I finished Aaron Reacts to the movie. And I'm sitting here like, get your Uno bullshit out of here.
Yo, come on. You know I was just teasing you. Monocle Owl Productions asked me, did you see fan service season finale? No, because when fan service is going on, I'm usually preparing stuff for this. And I don't multitask well. So, yeah, also, plus sometimes it's going on during work.
That's true.
Anyway, yeah, wait, did something happen during the season finale of fan service? Anyway, back to what we were saying about the animation team. Yeah, I don't know, like, I saw quite a lot of stuff on Twitter towards Rooster Teeth in general, but mainly about Ruby, about, like, a lot of people complaining about, like, a possible winter break, and then we didn't get the winter break after all that complaining, and I'm like, guys, like, Rooster Teeth already spoils the fans so much.
Honestly.
And it's like,
Yeah.
they deserve a freaking break. Like,
I've said this before, and I will say this again. Animators are people.
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
you work for hours. It is at least 24 frames for a single second of animation. And this is Maya. This isn't Poser. There is no, I forgot the exact word. How did I forget the phrase?
Like
This is my
a-
major.
Like a set frame, like, where
No,
you...
it wasn't, it has an S in it. It's pretty much, it's like a miniature program that, like, if you have a cape, it'll automatically have a cape behave like a cape.
Oh, yeah, like the physics and all that.
Yeah, they don't have a, I still can't remember what it's called.
Because I know, like, when I was learning in my film class about animation, like, if you wanted a character to wave, there was, like, some programs where you could, like, set where the hand starts and ends, and the program will just do that for you.
You can do that in Maya, but it does get increasingly more complicated, because that is ultimately how Maya works. You give the 2 endpoints, you give the several in between, so you have it move a certain way with a certain character, and it'll fill in the blanks for you. But that only works if you're doing something really simple, if you wanted to go out for the whole time. Because otherwise, because if you have a hand going, you have to time that with everything else as well.
Yeah.
And, like, it takes time.
It takes forever.
Like, animation takes forever. You start your senior thesis at my school, which isn't even, like, top animation school, your junior year. Like, you start preparing for that your sophomore year. You have to know what you're doing by your junior year. And you take all of junior, like, second semester and all of senior year to make this. And sometimes you don't even finish. So it's like, it takes so much goddamn time. And with switching to Maya, it's completely different because I realize I'm getting back into my hand gestures here. But
No, that's fine.
Poser is different because it's meant for fight animation. It can smooth things over. It can add blurs, which is very handy. But Maya, you can't necessarily do that without an absolute shit ton of programming. And they may not have time to do that considering how quickly they got Ruby Volume 4 out. Like, Ruby Volume 4 came out the same year Volume 3 ended. And I think people are forgetting that.
Yeah, just that alone spoiled us enough. You know,
Definitely.
just having new content for Ruby, and then Ruby Chibi on top of that.
And Chibi, yeah.
Because
Like-
we almost had I think a total of 3 months break between Volume 3 and 4 of Ruby content, because Volume 3 ended in February last year, and then we had Ruby Chibi the first weekend of May, and then from that we had another 24 weeks of Ruby Chibi, and then it was a month or two till Volume 4 started, so hardly no time.
And it's not easy. Sometimes it takes hours and hours of work. You have mocap you have to process. The rendering alone on Ruby Chibi and just Ruby Chibi and regular Ruby.
Oh yeah, the rendering on top of that. Ugh.
If I have 25-hour rendering time for a 45-minute video that has no After Effects involvement whatsoever.
Well, you upload your video to have it converted as well. You have a lot of extra work put into your video.
True, but still.
Yeah.
And Ruby Volume 1, it would be 2 weeks, 3 weeks before we had an episode in the same season.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Oh, and they also Camp was also done as well, which I don't think Camp used the entire animation team. Or
No, they have 2D and 3D teams.
Yeah, they have 2D and 3D teams, and Ruby is obviously more in the 3D team.
They will occasionally have people bridge.
Yeah.
But Issa's
For World of Remnant, I could easily see that.
Yeah, World of Remnant, I think, is actually rigged 3D because there's a certain kind of 3D that you can do with the kind of jointed movements. So it is very two-dimensional, but you just kind of have the pivot points.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like doing traditional 2D animation, except
it's
using
3D.
less. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, what?
But just give the animation team some goddamn credit.
Yeah,
they are
absolutely.
ass off.
Which you're still working on a gift for them, too.
Oh yeah,
aren't you?
I realized I didn't bring my fabric with me for the gift because I was I'm not gonna have a sewing machine, and my sewing machine is really being delivered this week.
Oh, well, can you ask family to send the fabric?
15 yards of fleece is kind of a giant thing.
Okay, all right. I didn't know how much stuff you had. I mean,
it fit in a box that 2 of me could fit in.
Oh wow. But yeah, for RTX, Aaron, RTX, you and I need to plan something to do for the animation team.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you already have something planned, I bet. Because you were all buddy with them last year, from what you were telling me. So.
I was just screaming, and they were like, "You're screaming. That's funny. Let's watch this kid die."
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. King of Lame is asking Larissa, what sort of things do you expect from tomorrow's episode?
I'm hoping we'll see Yang. I'm hoping because we haven't seen her in ages since chapter 4.
Yeah, it's about 4 chapters.
Holy crap, Yang, she's been missing.
I know, and the title is for the episodes 2 Steps Forward, 2 Steps Back. That could, yeah, so that also made me think of Yang too, maybe with her training. Though also, I think we'll see Blake again in Menagerie with the spy.
I think it'll either.
Probably won't show us Ranger.
Sorry, cutting you off.
No, that's okay. I just added that they probably won't show us Ranger and what happened with Crow because
I think it'll either be Yang and Blake or Yang and Weiss, because 2 steps forward, or 4 steps forward, 2 steps back, whichever the numbers were. That is very much how recovery works. So with Yang getting her new arm, having to figure that out again, that definitely makes sense. But it also would make sense for Weiss's case because she advanced in defending who she is as a person and not going back, but as a result she lost a lot of her stuff. She has to get used to summoning, not from an emotional base, but from a place that she can always control, and that can just be very challenging.
Yeah.
And even with Yang, even with Blake taking steps forward to come to terms with the fact that yes, she made a wrong decision, but she's not a horrible person because of it. If Sun is say to get hurt by the White Fang or keep going after the White Fang, if she stops and gets in trouble,
be a step backwards.
2 steps forwards, 1 step back.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm.
So.
Oh, apparently the thumbnail has Yang and Tai on it. I saw that in the chat. Because I didn't see the thumbnail. I just saw someone said on Twitter what the title of the episode was.
Awesome. Because I was going to say where we left off with Team Ranger and Weiss, it definitely were spots that could leave quite a bit of time skip. Because, like, Crow, you know, unless he's going to die, which I hope not, we're not going to... We could definitely do an episode without focusing on Team Ranger for once, and focus more on Yang and Blake, because Blake, where it left off, it was very much more cliffhanger, like everyone wants to see what happens next, and with Yang it's just been forever, like we already have her time waited to see her, and we could just assume Weiss is still training, doing whatever she is in her room. I mean, I just said she's training, I don't know why I said whatever she's doing. Anyway, yeah.
We've had 3 episodes of Ranger as well in a row.
Yeah, which... Granted, they are kind of more the focus of this volume, but even so, that's kind of...
Any predictions? Like, does anyone think Adam be seen anytime soon?
Maybe, but I think closer to the end of the volume. He has to make an appearance somewhere.
Or
definitely.
Actually, now that I think of it, that chameleon faunus that we saw, since they had a mask, they're from Adam's part of White Fang, so we could probably assume that Adam sent that person to go spy on Blake and keep track of her till he could get there.
I think
maybe take care of Blake? Nah, he'd do that personally.
Yeah, he would do that personally.
Yeah.
There's a couple possibilities about what that spy could mean. Because on one hand, it's like, oh, I know that she's in Menagerie because of Fennec in Corsac. So make sure that she stays there, find out what she's doing, why is she here? Is she, like, ready for a fight? Kind of get that information. But at the same time, unfortunately, it's kind of easy to bait Blake a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's definitely, we're starting to get that lead up towards the finale, which is always the case. Like, we had that epic fight, and now we have Crow is poisoned, and now we have Blake Sun running after Blake, running after the White Fang. So I wouldn't be surprised if the spy was it could either be like, oh, I'm observing to report back to Adam so he has more knowledge for when he arrives in Menagerie to deal with her personally, or it could be kind of knowing how Blake behaves, more of a, oh, I want this spy to be seen by you so that you will go after them, leading you here so I can go. Because we know that in the trailer she fights against Adam in Desert, which is a good portion of Menagerie. I almost said majority. So if, like, a chase through the chameleon faunus through Menagerie, which would be pretty easy to spot that mask even in such a crowded place, could lead Blake out of the area. And I don't know if she had her weapon on her. She probably grabbed it before quickly dumped. I doubt she kept it far from her.
Yeah.
But odds are that was bait to take her somewhere else. And even if she's like, you know what, no, I'm not here to fight the White Fang. I'm here to go home. Sun and his horrible grasp of boundaries will most likely keep going after. And if Adam is waiting, what better way than to grab Blake by another spunky blonde companion? She has a type. You can't.
Blake. Shit. Anyway, any thoughts, Larissa?
Yeah, I also, like, Adam is meant to be meeting with, well, I assume he's going to be there when Hazel meets with Sienna Khan. So that's the other thought too. So it could be Menagerie, but it could also be wherever they're meeting. We don't know where they're meeting. So that's a thought too. We might next see him meeting with Hazel and Sienna Khan.
Maybe. We definitely, yeah. We haven't seen much of I don't know, Team Witch, Team Salem, the Salem Kool-Aid Brigade, like, we haven't seen much of them lately, and this could be just because I'm really excited to see Watts eat his own words, but I am interested to see what their reaction is to Tyrion coming back.
Yes.
I'm interested too, and I'm kind of hoping, but probably going to be disappointed that it won't be the end of Tyrion. Although the voice actor has let it slip that Tyrion only has one more scene in this volume.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
and apparently he said if you thought Tyrion was crazy now, just wait till you see that last scene with him.
That makes sense.
So I'm like,
Okay.
what the heck is gonna happen? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen with Tyrion, and I honestly like, I don't know. I'm not like invested in him at all, but I'm like actually really wanting to know what happens. I don't know. He's like I guess one of those characters where like I hate this character, but I'm really invested in knowing what happens to them next.
I have some ideas,
Okay.
as always. I know, what a surprise. But it is possible that just because Tyrion only has one more scene in this volume, is that we don't see Tyrion again. But just the way that it's like, if you thought he was crazy now, odds are that Tyrion will probably
Do
by the end of the
something.
season.
Mhm.
No, but I don't think it'll be by Salem's hand.
Do you think he'd do it himself?
No,
No.
like I wouldn't put it past him, but I don't think that's what it is. My best guess is that Salem's kind of gonna pull that Cinder, or rather, Cinder will have pulled a Salem and kind of like, gently stroke the cheek, just like, oh, my child, like, what have they done to you? Kind of that subtle manipulative language to kind of pull him in the right direction, to be like, thank you for being willing to serve me. It's like, they took this away from you, time to take it back. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of went kamikaze on them. That's not like the best word for it, but kind of like a last ditch effort with like, I have you here, time for one final game, one final show, and I'm gonna go out with a bang. Kind of.
Oh yeah.
Salem is still executing him, but by giving him the impression that it's under his own free will for a greater purpose. So it's like you will achieve more through your death than you will through other means.
Yeah.
So kind of a last ditch, make him go completely and utterly batshit, cause as much harm as possible, and then if Team Ranger doesn't do it, then have herself personally pull the plug.
Yeah. I think he might try to do something drastic to like regain redemption, but I don't think they said it's just going to be one last scene, and a lot of what you said kind of includes more than one scene. So
True.
It could be like a last ditch thing, like, hey, we're gonna do this, possibly that like repairs his tail, or he has to do something crazy to gain more power. But that's the last we see of him till next volume.
Yeah.
When he's more amped or whatever.
That is a good point, but at the same time, like, even if Salem isn't kind to him, that last scene would make sense, because like if she does end up killing him directly, kind of as a, you cannot, like, do not expect to come back to me with failure and survive, kind of a thing. So she could easily squash him like a bug. That was not intentional. But just right there on the spot in front of them all, because they could be having a form of meeting, and he could come in and she could just straight up directly kill someone, which we haven't seen from Salem, but it would be interesting to see in some crazy way. If she can manipulate Grimm and somehow infuse Grimm with people, kind of do that to Tyrion, but not like in the way with Cinder where she can somewhat control it, do it in a way with Tyrion where it will consume him, so it's his own madness fighting against the madness of Grimm, kind of in this one giant thing, until he's no longer recognizable, which would definitely amp up her evil factor, which we haven't really seen.
Yeah. The more, I kind of felt like the more we saw Salem and her not doing evil things, but kind of just scheming, kind of left me thinking, like, I should be, like, the level of how scared I am slightly goes down, even though I know she's a conniving little witch who's planning something very terrible that will make me regret going, oh, I'm so sorry I left my guard down while watching Salem. So, yeah, anyway, let's see. Elephants are tasty, said, it just frustrates me that trained huntsmen like Crow let their guard down. Like, Crow shouldn't have gotten hurt. He should have been paying attention. Well, he was doing two things at once. He was trying to protect Ruby while fighting Tyrion, and that was in a moment of being caught off guard, going like, "Whoa, that was a close call, Ruby. Are you okay?" Slice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Crow's
can't
bad
put
luck,
past it.
possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, in every show I've seen, there's always like the master who slips up at one point and gets gravely injured.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been much worse.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of pleased because some people were like, Crow wasn't poisoned, he was just hurt. And then in the episode, you see it's not blood like the first time we see it because they made sure
He's
to do that.
secretly a
just
Covenant
for-
alien.
Oh, but like, I'm accurate. But because the first time it's like, oh, it's red blood. It's like, oh yeah, you know, it's just a scratch. I'm being cool about it because I am the cool drunkle. And then when we see him in the morning, it is very clearly purple. The concept art had it, so it's purple, just like Tyrion's venom. And it would be interesting if it was a combination of a poison, but aura can heal you. That's something we've definitely established.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be interesting if Tyrion's venom not only stunned you, but prevented your aura from recovering.
Kind of like Voldemort's snake. Because it bit Ron's dad, and then like his wounds wouldn't heal.
Oh yeah,
And then like they couldn't heal it with magic, and like they tried stitches, and the stitches would just come undone.
Yeah, like that, because it would make sense. Because if you damage your target and you have them bound and more or less paralyzed, and you're on your way back to go see badass goddess Salem, and your captive begins to heal, then they once more become a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that could be part of his value, and it would definitely make sense why he could also be the way that he is. Because if that was the case, not only is most likely being an insect or an arachnid fauna more rare, but if you're that dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
it would be curious.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just curious. Like, I don't know. This whole volume just has me curious on like what's going to happen next. Because like the other volumes, for the most part, we knew what direction they were going. Volume 1, it's like, okay, the teams are getting assembled together, and then now, okay, obviously Weiss is very bitter about not being the leader, so we know there's some character development going on here. Then it's like, oh, here's Penny, and then, oh, there's obviously like White Fang going on in Vale, so they're going to investigate that, and there's Roman, and then Volume 2, it's like, alright, they're continuing investigating, they're preparing for the tournament as well. And then, like, oh, obviously, like, there's this underground, bigger plan than everyone thought is going on. And then, Volume 3, it's like, all right, here's the Vital Tournament. We know something very important is going on with Pyrrha. And there's Arcos. And then, pain and death and sucked. And now it's like, we could take guesses. And surprisingly, been right quite a lot. But it's like a shotgun. It's kind of going all over the place.
Which is kind of appreciated, because like part of why Volume 3 was so impactful was because Volumes 1 and 2 were, for lack of a better word, relatively predictable.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, you know, it's a high school anime. They fight, they battle monsters, they go to class, they have prom, they have drama, dating each other.
I loved it.
And you know,
Okay,
like,
sorry.
it's like, oh, we have casual antagonists, and Cinder's sitting there like, according to Keikaku. But nothing's incredibly threatening. And then we got to Volume 3, and it seemed like it was a continuation of that. And then we got to Chapter 6, and it was like, hi, Yang just broke a guy's leg. Oh, guess what? Pyrrha might freaking lose her entire personality. Oh no! Oh, look, 3 people are dead. Oh, look, like, countless off-screen civilians dead. Schools destroyed. Remember how they said this was a happy anime? We lied.
Well, I think really the day we waited for, I mean, this will be the day we wait. This will be the day, the song. It said you wanted a fairy tale that's full of charm, but it was like, it was very much foreshadowing, this is not the fairy tale full of charm. So we were full warned since day one. Well, technically not day one, because there was like the red trailer and so on.
Well,
but, anyway, I actually kind of remembered something I thought of at work as like a joke, because I nearly died at work again today.
I need a bubble wrap this.
No, okay. But this one, So I kind of started thinking of like Pyrrha's death scene compared to like how I almost died. so, so, so what I was doing, I had this heat gun, and I'm like shrinking shrink wrap on bottles, and I accidentally let it down on some of the other shrink wrap parts, and they melted on, and I had to get rid of them because they melted onto the heat gun, and I had to remove them. And so they're like, oh, well, just scrape it out with a knife. So I grab out the knife, and by the way, this thing looks like a hairdryer, aka what reminded me was a toaster. So just imagine, like, the thing is, like, looking up at me, and it's like, do you believe in destiny? And I'm about to stick a knife right into this thing while it's still plugged in. And I'm like, oh, crap, my common sense is tingling. I need to unplug this thing. I'm like, man, that could have been a bad day at work. But I was totally, like, thinking, like, a comic, like, parodying, like, the heat gun being, like, Pyrrha being like, do you believe in destiny? And it's about to be stabbed by me, and I'm like, yes. But, yeah, no, I luckily was like, holy crap, because, like, there's my boss and, like, all my coworkers, like, David, go put the knife in. I think they wanted to kill me. Holy crap. No one cared about it being unplugged. Like, because I was like, holy crap, this thing should be unplugged. Like, just hurry up and get rid of the plastic. I'm like, well, I think it should be unplugged first. Holy crap, they wanted me to kill me. Holy crap. Peter Michael, I am getting a new job soon. Don't worry about it.
In the wise words of BMO, David, if anyone tries to hurt you, I will kill him.
Oh, yeah, well, good luck killing the heat gun after it, like, killed me.
I've killed a heat gun before.
Okay. All right.
Don't test me.
Yeah, alright. You'll have to, like, hurt everyone who stood by and didn't think of helping me unplug the gun.
Bringing back to the songs and the foreshadowing, back in Volume 3, it was kind of apparent exactly how much there was of that, because even from, I think, one of the very first songs, they always bring up fall. Volume 1 has I May Fall, and then we got to Volume 3, and by the end it was like, we have the Fall Maiden, they're actually falling in the intro, it's when I fall, it's no longer an if situation.
Fall of Beacon, and yeah. The fall of the Vital Festival. It was also in the fall. The leaves changed color. Yeah.
That was...
There was a lot of stuff. And that's kind of what I love about Ruby, is like seeing foreshadowing, but also the soundtrack. Someone mentioned this in the chat last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. They said that Jeff Williams said that he always wrote the soundtracks and the vocal tracks as like telling another part of the story. Which
you said that last week.
Yeah, it was last week.
It wasn't someone in the chat, it was you.
Well, no, I read it from the chat. I
Oh.
read it from the chat, but it was always something like I always kind of thought was like, hey, yeah, this is pretty obvious, but it's nice to see that Jeff actually said it, because it's like you read anything like Boop Dream Come True, those are telling stories about Pyrrha and Nora and like telling more about those characters, but then there's like This Will Be the Day. It's talking about like Ruby going into Beacon, and all that. So.
And Red Light Razors Part 2, of course, being with Ruby and Summer. I love that song.
Yeah.
It's funny because everyone has a different perception of who that song's about, actually.
Oh, really?
Because my first impression was Ruby and Summer, and then someone brought it up to me that it was Yang and Raven. And someone in the chat was mentioning it potentially being Ruby and Crow.
Yeah. Huh.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. Like, that song is still up for interpretation, but if I'm guessing it being about Ruby and Crow came up because part of it played during the Crow fight. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's interesting. Also, speaking of the soundtrack, 3 times this week, I put my phone on shuffle, like all music. I have 1,500 songs, by the way.
Oh, God.
And it's been like, it's like, okay, here's a song by a pop artist. Now here's a Ruby soundtrack song. Alright, pop artist, Ruby soundtrack. Okay, Red vs. Blue soundtrack, switching it up a little bit. Okay, pop artist, Ruby. I'm like, how many Ruby tracks do I have for it to be like literally every other song playing for like my entire shift at work? But anyway.
I still think it's funny that you ended up having like Cold and Destiny play like
right
after.
Destiny freaking was the first song that played today, and the skip button didn't work. So it was like yesterday I was able to skip Destiny, and then like this time it wouldn't let me skip. I'm like, Pyrrha.
I feel
no.
I prefer 8 tracks. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. I don't use Spotify too often, so I use 8 tracks just because that's how I find a lot of music that I really like.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what? I'm in a Ruby mood. I'm gonna go through all of the like. I'm gonna go look at the Team Ranger playlist and see if there's any new Pura ones, the Jean ones. I came across Cold 8 times,
No.
and I ran out of skips. And I just flat out was like, not today, Satan. Not today.
Yeah.
There of Destiny is the song that plays when Pyrrha and Jean are having their conversation about destiny and if she could fulfill her destiny in a single moment,
Yeah.
which is a wonderful segue.
Yeah, and then it also played, well, my phone played the song of like Pyrrha fighting Cinder and
Aw.
like the diet, and then it goes, and then it has like that beautiful like it's playing right when Ruby cries and does the silver-eyed things, you know, that
Yeah.
like chorus of it. Yeah, it's a chorus. You know, they're doing
It's
their
one part. It's more of a string, so it's I don't. It's not like a vocal chorus.
Oh
Or if it
no.
is-
Hunts SD said, "You got destiny because Crow's death tomorrow. It's foreshadowing." No, I hate it when life foreshadows like things. Like, do you guys feel like real life sometimes give you like real life foreshadowing? Like,
Yes.
hey, crap's about to happen. You're like, yeah,
All the time.
whatever, and then it happens. Like, I should have listened to that foreshadowing.
I've had that happen to me so many times that at the point where it's like I'll see anything and I'm just kind of like, is that foreshadowing?
Yeah.
But this one thing we haven't really talked about for this episode was just exactly the emotional weight of it,
Yeah.
because there was a lot of exposition that we had to deal with as well, but there was a lot of emotion that I felt. Sometimes it seemed to get kind of lost, and then you saw it, like you'd see another part, like there's Blake bearing her soul out to her father. Like we don't really know why, but she definitely seems more separated from her father than she does from her mother, and we find out exactly why. And then with Jean, and even with all of Team Ranger, their body language was more telling than anything they could have said. Like Nora's silence was deafening, because this is Nora who doesn't stop talking.
Yeah, that was one thing I was
Exactly.
definitely noticing while editing my reaction was like whenever she talked, she wasn't all happy and cheerful. She was more like dead serious, which is
Well,
Yeah.
well,
not
she
her.
can be, but just even her body language was just very closed off and very. If I remember correctly, she was very close to Ren. Ren and Nora, I
Yes.
believe, had approximately the same number of lines, which is nearly unheard of. Because usually it's like Ren has 2 lines of volume, and Nora can talk from the time that they wake up at Beacon till when they are in the locker room consistently.
You could say she's energetic.
Yeah,
Anyway.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But so just the shock with them, because it's kind of easy to forget how much they know, because we see things from multiple point of views. Not everyone in the world of Remnant knows exactly what's going on at all times. Like, so finding out about the Fall Maiden, true motivation behind the fall of Beacon, everything that happened, like they had. I bring this up for length in my video, but they probably have begun to come with terms of the fact that we lost a friend, we lost family, we lost a teammate, but they died doing this for us. Like, they didn't know if they would make it out. Like, they had no other reason than to go in for us. So like they started to come to terms with that, and then finding out that there was another reason behind it, that there was almost an ulterior motive, that there was more going on than what they saw. It really like refreshes that wound.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, what was happening, especially with Ren and Nora. But even for Jean understood
Jean.
more of what was happening than they did.
Yeah, because he saw the basement.
He saw the basement, and he had no idea what it was. But even before that, with the episode Destiny, when Pyrrha has her whole thing, it's like, if you had
Everything
the opportunity
clicks.
to fulfill your destiny in a single moment, but at the cost of who you were, would you do it? And he says, the Pyrrha I know would never back down. So when Jean says he forced her to do it, and Crow brings up, no, she chose to do it, he now
put
has more
blame.
guilt on himself.
Yeah.
He feels guilty for it now, because he is the one who was like, oh yeah, Pyrrha, you're Pyrrha, you can do this. Like, you are this incredible defender of humanity. Like, it's definitely the person I know would do this. So he feels more directly responsible than just, she wouldn't let me help and now she's dead, than more of a, I told her to do this, because of this she was in harm's way, because of that I wasn't there and she ended up dying, kind of a.
Yeah. I mean, I was really hoping that, like, with the Juniper part of Team Ranger getting, like, more answers on, like, what went on and, like, what happened to Pyrrha, that hopefully, because those wounds reopened, they could heal better now.
Yeah.
But with
Like,
John, it's definitely going to take a lot more because of that. And
For Team
John needs a hug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like Team Juniper, like the parts of Team Juniper in Team Ranger, so everyone but Ruby. There's no like good enunciation for them because like all the names like don't have vowels in them, and so it'd just be Jinner. Like it's definitely a lot like hydrogen peroxide. Like oh, I muted myself. Did I mute myself?
No, I can hear you.
No, we can hear you.
Oh, I muted you guys accidentally.
Oh.
But it would kind of be like you pour it on a wound that's still relatively fresh because you want to get rid of any bacteria that's growing, but you know, maybe it started to like heal itself, but not in like the most proper way. And so it hurts, it stings like a bitch, and that pain will linger, and sometimes it'll take a little bit longer to heal, but when it does, it'll ultimately end up better off because of it.
Yeah.
Because there's not that uncertainty and lack of knowledge that led to a false sense of closure.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just want my babies to be happy.
I am in full support.
Like, come on. I mean, I could imagine, like, Ruby Chibi Season 2 having, like, a therapy episode where it's, like, everyone's sitting around the campfire and there's, like, Crow with the Freudian couch. They're just, like, taking turns on, like, the Freudian couch or log talking to Crow. And Crow's just handing them alcohol. And, like, Crow, this is not responsible. He's like, it's what I do. Anyway, we're 10 minutes over, so I think...
It was a big episode.
It was a big episode, and we have
Yes.
Larissa, too. So, Larissa, thank you for joining us.
You are
That's
wonderful.
okay.
We love you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I love you guys too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. Oh, there was one thing I did want to bring up. Can I bring it up really quickly?
Yes.
Because I was going to bring it up and then I forgot because we got talking. Kato Dan, I'm not sure if he's in the chat, I don't think he is. He shared on Twitter yesterday, I think it was, a YouTube video which had the lyrics to the song played in the fight between Crow and Tyrion.
Oh.
Yes, and the lyrics, and I think the song might be called Bad Luck Charm. And after seeing chapter 8, it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, man. You gotta love Jeff Williams.
Because it says, like, I don't mean to bring you pain. I am no one's blessing. I'll just bring you harm. I'm a cursed black cat. I'm an albatross. I'm a mirror broken. Save yourself. I'm your bad luck charm.
Holy crap.
When I heard the lyrics, I was like, oh my god, that's what it says, because you can't really make it out in the episode because so much is going on and the words are kind of muted a bit. But now that I know the lyrics, whenever I hear that now, like, oh, I can hear it, the words spoken. And I really like that song. It's been stuck in my head for ages.
Oh, man.
It's wonderful. Like, there's those songs in Ruby that when they first come out, you want the soundtrack to be released immediately so you can just automatically put it on loop.
Yes, like, It's My Turn from that. Yeah, that was definitely one of those from Volume 3.
That's me with Let's Just Live, and that was me with the Team Sun versus Indigo, just because that whole violin, somewhat piratey, a little bit of dash of Irish in there, that is my jam.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
It's awesome. Anyway, I do want to bring this to a close, but also, Larissa, I would like to invite you back, like, the week after RTX Sydney, and we could say happy birthday to you, and you could tell us how RTX Sydney went. So.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. I'm hoping maybe I might vlog a little bit of it. I'll just see what happens, because my partner's coming along too, so I might get into filming, but I'll just see what happens. I'll have to probably get a better camera too, but
I hope you have a wonderful time, and I look forward to seeing more pictures of your Ruby costume. It looks so good.
Yeah, it looks amazing. And that's your first cosplay too, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Dude,
it
that,
is.
I have to say, is unbelievable for first time.
Yeah, for first cosplay, that is, especially Ruby, like, Volume 1 Ruby is a different story, because you can just get, like, a black long sleeve dress and add a turtleneck to it and just kind of tweak it, but Volume 4 Ruby is a whole other thing.
I know. That corset.
Major props to you, like... seriously, Ruby is not the easiest thing to start out cosplaying from, and it definitely can take a lot of practice, but you are absolutely slaying it. Like,
Yeah,
I did have a lot of help from my mum, I must admit that.
that's cool.
She
Still.
did help me guide me a lot. I've never actually made anything and anything like that before, so but it's been a lot of fun and yeah, hard.
It's
But
still been amazing nonetheless.
yeah, it's awesome. And I hope I should have finished in time for RTX. I only just got to do the sort of I finished the top. So I just got to do the harness thing for a backpack, a
Oh,
belt, and stockings, and those other little bits and bobs.
Cool.
Yeah, her stockings are definitely challenging.
I know I still haven't. I've got some ideas on how to do it, but I still haven't. Yeah,
If you
I'm not
figure
sure.
it out, please tell me.
Yeah.
I will.
Like I
I've
have
got
like
a couple ideas.
like I have one, but I'm like I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, it's really tricky, and I even thought maybe I could just quickly get them online just for RTX Sydney, and I couldn't buy them individually. The only time you could get the stockings was part of a whole outfit. I was like, so I'm gonna have to try and make them somehow. So
Well, I mean, like on Amazon or I think they have it so you can buy tights that actually look like thigh high, so they'll stay up. My main
Okay.
thing is like, how does that like that flower,
yes.
Ruby? Why?
And I can't just find the design on its own anywhere, so I could sketch it. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Like painting on tights is definitely tricky.
That's what I thought. I
I
don't
just
know.
have
I'll
to
see how
flashback
it
to
goes.
Yoga Magica. Oh god,
Oh,
I botched like 6 pairs of Homura tights.
oh man.
Oh dear.
All right, so shall we wrap it up?
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a
Yes.
wonderful
Bye.
day, week.